Baby, let him come. Let him come. Baby? Yeah. So April's here. You know, Missouri turkey season kicks off in April. Hosey always comes in during Missouri turkey season. I'm sure he's gonna spend a few days and then probably kill his turkey and roll before the work starts. But once Hosey's gone back to Pennsylvania, food plotting is full send at that point. All right, I got 20 that says one's gonna gobble from this spot.
It wasn't as much as the tempo of the calling, the length of it, as it was the action. He came from down to up as
Get in the freaking truck.
That's when I was
Both
like,
of you.
That's when I realized something was off, and he was a bit aggressive.
Turkeys are coming. We struck these turkeys down the road and moved up the road here. There's a little lane right here that goes into this plot behind us. They're gobbling right over that knob right there. They've definitely made some ground. Bird's coming right down the road from the left here. Yep, right here, right here. They're gonna come out left of the decoys on the road. See them? Yep, I got them.
Bird, I'm gonna shoot the strutter.
Shoot the one on your side.
All right. I'm on the strutter. All right, I'm on the one to the right. Right. One, two. Good enough. Yeah, baby. Oh. Woo! What a cluster. Good shooting, Paz. Good shooting. Beautiful turkeys. Thank you to Travis, Nicole, Lisa, everybody out here at B-Rock. This place is special. We're
Critter.
thankful. Critter. Our boy Critter. We're thankful to be a part of it, and we're going to do some celebrating tonight. I plan on having a nice water on the rocks.
Hard?
Where you been?
It's before noon.
Before noon, I've been working since 6 o'clock.
Oh, whatever. Turkey season been tough on me. Man, we've been planning and trying to get this stuff done for a month, it seems like, but between my travel schedule, Dustin's work schedule, and then rain and weather on top of it, man, it makes it tough sometimes. You feel like you can't ever get anything done. So this weekend, we got a big weekend planned. We're gonna get some food plots prepped. We got a hinge cut that we're gonna do on a particular piece. So, man, we got a lot to get done. Finally dry enough. Hopefully we're gonna be able to turn some dirt today, get some plots in the ground, get some big tine borderline in the ground. It's already been a day though. The tracker's dead. Couldn't get the tongue of the disc up. It's just one of those days. It's already starting off. I can't wait to see how it ends.
Damn it.
That ain't good. That pretty much puts a dampener on the day.
It's just always something. Look here. Every gang's loose.
Yeah, that blade right there is all but coming off. I mean, it literally is something constantly. Dustin didn't make it 100 yards with the disc, and down we go right off the bat. Great way to start the freaking day. We spend more time working on junk than we actually do getting crap done. And I can already tell it's definitely one of those days that finally just now got dry enough to freaking work, and we can't even keep stuff together for 5 minutes.
I've been hearing that auction on the radio over here at Donovan. Let's go up there today, see if they got a disc.
This is like literally the only window we have to get borderline in the ground. Dustin's got the idea. He's been hearing about a farm auction on the radio. Surely the heck at a farm auction, they gotta have a disc.
Hey, 2 bidding at 75, 275, 275, gonna be 275. Hey, 209, gonna be 275. Hey, 2 bidding at 75, 275, 275, gonna be 275. Hey, 209, gonna be 5.
This is the most rednecks I've ever seen in one spot, I think. Man, we could probably get this sucker right here pretty cheap. It's probably just as big of a hunk of junk as what we already got. I really want that green one. That's what I got my eyes set on. my heart is with the green disc. We definitely have found the auction. We did find our disc. The problem is we've got a lot of competition, I'm going into this thing thinking that I don't need to spend a dime over $3,000. Like, that's where I want to be at.
We may go over the budget just a little bit. You know how it is when you get an auction, you get a little itchy and you want to take something home, so we'll see.
I don't want to go over $3,000.
$4,000 go. That's less than half price.
About 4,000, 4,500. 4,040. He give 10,000 for it, guys. 4,000, 4,500.
2,500 go.
They started this thing out at $4 grand, didn't have a taker on it, dropped it back down to 2,500. I'm thinking I'm about to get a steal, and then all of a sudden, old Jim Bob over there decides he's ready to start bidding, runs me up.
2,500. I got a man now. 3. And now 3,000. 3,500. 3,500. 4,000. 4.
Before I know it, it was 2,500. Now 3,000. Now I got 3,500. Now 4,000. Yeah, that's me.
4,500. About 4,500. $4,000 on number.
165. I definitely don't think that we got a steal for sure. We probably ended up paying a little more than where we wanted to be, probably a little more than what it was worth, but we're going home with it today.
Oh, he went a little bit over. The budget was $3,500, so he went over $500. I think that's a win. This brand new is like $10,000, so I'm ready to hook it up and get to work.
Man, this is one of our favorite places on this whole place. We call this Death Valley. We hung a stand up here the other day, and we got a stand right here behind Jacob. Dustin shot a deer out of that tree this year, and then I shot wide load right up to the other end of the food plot here. And what we did is we had a big time clover plot in here last fall. We come back in, frost seeded over the top of it. It was a new plot, and we had some wheat mixed in with it. So we're going in right now and just snipping the top off, and then we'll come back and spray this. And it's, as you can see right here underneath where Dustin's mowed, I mean, it's just lush clover coming up. Looking really, really, really good and really promising for this summer. They'll be packed in this creek bottom this summer right here on this clover. So we've got this specific spot we call Death Valley in the bottom. It's literally one of my favorite places on the whole farm to hunt, but it was a hard place to access in and out of. We're in a big pine tree that kind of sticks out into the food plot. And the problem is it's a great tree, but it's hard to get in and out of without deer seeing you either get in or see you when you leave. The problem was last year is we didn't have good access in here. This tree kind of sticks out in the plot a little bit, and you're kind of out by itself. So getting in and out in the evening, especially when you got deer in the field, was horrific. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back in here, disc it up, and we're gonna sacrifice this little end of this plot right here and put some big tine borderline in here and basically block everything off up to the tree right here. So we'll be able to come into that corner, out that corner, and get in and out of this tree with nothing being able to detect us that's in the plot. So should work out slick this year. I'm super excited because it's a great tree. It just needed tweaked a little bit for the access. So that's what we're doing today. And I think hopefully when we're done, it's gonna be legit. We're getting ready to put this big tine borderline in the ground. And I tell you, man, last couple years of using this, it has flat been a game changer. You know, this stuff is packed full of a variety of different grasses: sorghum, millet, Sudan grass, Egyptian wheat, sun hemp, just a huge variety of grasses and cover that gets anywhere from 3 to 4 foot high all the way up to 10 foot high. So basically, you know, what we're doing and what we're using it for right here is to make a screening wall right here to be able to access this tree to get in and out. Whether we even have deer in the field when we come in the morning, or there's deer in the field in the afternoon when we get done hunting, we can slip down out of the tree, get back out of here completely undetected. And it's going to allow us to have a lot more hunts throughout the season without bumping and educating these deer every time we're coming in and out. So like I said, access and getting in here and out of here last year was a little bit of an issue. So with the borderline, we got that covered this year, and I guarantee you we're going to have some awesome hunts in here. You know, we figured out a lot last year after seeing Dustin's hunt out of that same tree in rifle season. He barely got in there without getting detected by that buck that he shot. And so we instantly knew that we needed to go back in there and tweak that spot a little bit this year with borderline to be able to solve that problem. And that's the cool thing about a new piece of ground, is you learn every single day you're out there, you're learning something.
It's the second evening here in Missouri rifle season. I am pumped up. We waited for a north wind and we got it this evening. So we pushed in here, and this is a little food plot in the middle of about an 80-acre bedding area, and this is where Randy killed his, and we got a few good bucks showing up, so hopefully one of them shows up tonight. right there, but he bounced off. It's a good shot. He ain't gonna break no records, but that's an old mature deer, and that's what we're after today. This year, we just bought this farm this year, and we're just trying to manage it and produce some good whitetails. I'm happy to have it.
Yeah, right. Walk right up to him. You believe that?
That sucker is up in the creek, boy.
Yeah. Ain't gonna be real easy.
Don't hardly have just bumps for brow tines. I actually had an encounter with this deer in bow season and almost got him shot. Oh, dust laid him down last night. Hit him a little bit low, so we gave him overnight, but he didn't pack her too far. We found him right here in the creek. It took us a while to find him though. We've been looking for 3 or 4 hours.
Beating the brush.
Finally found him laid up in the creek. Heck yeah, he's stiff as a board.
Yeah.
You know, this place, unlike a lot of places out there, it had 0 bedding cover whenever we bought it. And one of the first things that I noticed is we need to thicken some places up. We need to create some bedding. And one of the best ways I know to do that is by hinge cutting. We had to pick the hottest day of the entire year so far to finish our last hinge cut. But this is the one probably that we were most excited about on the whole place. And it's crazy because out of the ground that we manage, this is the smallest chunk out of any of it. And this is where we had the biggest deer last year living, and actually showed up in here after we were all tagged out last year, and he stayed here the entire year. So we're doing everything that we possibly can to make this small chunk right here exactly what he wants to stay here. This was all timber on this place, and we come in, we knock this food plot out right off the bat. We put in a water hole, and then the last step, which we ran out of time last year, but the last step is to create this bedding area by hinge cut. And we're gonna go in here, and I got on hunt stand. I marked about a 3-acre spot on hunt stand out here, probably 100 yards off of what will be the upwind side of this plot. And we got it mapped out, and we're gonna go in and hinge cut and hopefully create a solid bedding area to hold this deer right where we want him at, right here close to this food source. And we'll have a big tine plot in here. We already got a stand up there, so the stage is set. Hopefully it pans out like we need it to this year. You know, in most cases here, what we're looking for is we're going on the upwind side of a lot of our food plots and creating bedding where there wasn't originally bedding. This place was big mature timber, wide open timber. You can look down through the timber and see 150 or 200 yards. And when you can do that, deer use it, but they're not living there. They're not staying there. And that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create a place to where deer are living 24/7, 365 days a year. And sometimes you got to manipulate what you have to make that happen.
So while Randy's coming through here and cutting them, I'm pulling them with this forestry hook, and I'm able to pull them where I want or push them exactly where I want. And he's just cutting them 2/3 of the way through, and that allows the tree to continue to grow, put on the foliage, and create bedding.
When I see a lot of people come in and make these bedding areas, they try to make it as thick as they possibly can in one tight spot. And deer, in general, you'll be able to bed a lot more deer, house a lot more deer if you spread these little pockets of cover out. They don't require a ton of cover to bed, and they don't like to be sandwiched right on top of each other. So we're taking a 4-acre or so spot right here, and we're really skipping around and hitting just little pods and making different little bedding areas, you know, kind of almost micro bedding areas inside this large bedding area. And what that does is, like I said, it'll make you house a lot more deer in a smaller area than going in and just cramming stuff on top of each other in a small spot. So I might cut 5 or 6 trees in a group, lay them over kind of like I treat it almost like a wagon spoke, to where I kind of have a hub, and then I'll lay a tree out several different directions, giving a deer the ability to bed in a lot of different places depending on the wind and being able to see and smell. So you want to try to bed these deer as close as you can so you get better daylight activity, but you also don't want to bed them too close because you still got to be able to have good access in and out. 100 to 150 yards off of these food plots on the upwind side. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow enough space, enough buffer between where you're accessing these food plots and where your deer are bedded, to where you can access in and out without bumping deer trying to get into your stand. This tree that I cut right here, I cut it about 2/3 of the way straight perpendicular at about belly button height, and The reason you cut them about 2/3 of the way is you want that cambium layer. You want enough of that left right here. That's this part right here. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep that tree alive for 2 or 3 years. So this tree isn't just going to die on you, lose all your cover and just rot away. It's going to stay alive. There's going to be enough, like I said, of that cambium layer there. Make sure to leave plenty of that on there. Like I said, when you're hinge cutting, you don't want it just to be a one and done deal. So leave enough life in that tree where you can get years of use out of these things. They're too much work to only get 1 year out of.